Hey there! Today I will show you how to make chocolate mousse. Simple French recipe with the silky texture and subtle sweet flavor. I will show you how to make Swiss meringue and how to melt your chocolate in the right way without ruining its structure. This recipe requires very few ingredients, so you can make it at home and enjoy together with your friends and family. Now let's get to the recipe. For this recipe you will need milk chocolate, white chocolate. I decided to use both chocolate to make two different soufflés, but you can use one type of chocolate. Butter, dissolved instant coffee, but this is optional just to enhance the chocolate's flavor, and I'm going to add it only to the milk chocolate. Sugar, 5 large eggs or 6 average eggs, preferably fresh. And that's pretty much it. I will leave the weights of the ingredients in the description like usual. It's good if you have an electric whisk, but if you don't have an electric whisk, it's totally fine to use your hand. That's okay. We'll start by making a meringue. There are 3 types of meringue: French, Italian, and Swiss meringue. My favorite one is Swiss because it's the most stable, the easiest. It's really easy to make. Many recipes call for a French meringue, but if you want it to be reliable, if you want it to work out like 100% guaranteed, Swiss meringue is your choice. Italian meringue is the hardest. It's really easy to mess up. I'll start by separating the egg yolks from egg whites. I'm gonna use this bowl to beat the egg inside. Please make sure that your bowl has no spots, it's totally clean. Even a little bit of fat there will ruin your meringue. It won't be stable. So I prefer to use my hands to separate the whites from the yolks. Another way is to use a tablespoon. You can use a tablespoon to separate your yolk from the egg whites. Please make sure there are no spots of egg yolks inside the egg whites, because egg yolks are fat and any amount of fat can ruin your meringue. That's really important. You can, if you see there are some tiny yellow spots in your whites, you can use a tablespoon to remove them, or a piece of eggshell. Also, if you have some cream of tartar, you can add a little bit of cream of tartar, unless you're using a copper bowl. Now I'm adding all the sugar with a little pinch of salt. Salt also helps to beat the egg whites. Right now we need double boiler or water bath, whatever you call it. So there's a little bit of water. We need to make sure that the bottom of the bowl doesn't touch the water. Make sure there's enough distance between them. And it's really important that you use metal bowl, because metal transfers heat really well. I wait until it starts boiling. We're gonna whisk it with sugar until it reaches 40 degrees Celsius. And when it reaches 40 degrees Celsius, we can remove it from the double boiler and keep whisking outside the double boiler. So it starts boiling. I put it there, and yeah, I need to set the lowest speed. At the low speed. How to check whether it reached 40 degrees? It's really simple. Your body temperature is 36.6 degrees Celsius. So when you touch the mixture and it's slightly warmer, it feels slightly warm, it means that your temperature is good to go. That's okay. But please make sure not to overheat it, because in this case you will ruin your meringue. I can already feel it's hot enough, so it's just literally a few seconds. Yeah, that's enough. That's 40 degrees at least. So your goal is to aerate the egg whites as much as possible. The additional heat allows your sugar to dissolve easily. That's what makes Swiss meringue so stable. Whisking them will take some time, may take several minutes, and you can gradually increase the speed over the course of whisking it. I increase the speed again. As you can see, they are getting really hard and they keep their shape. When I lift the whisk, they should keep their shape. They should have a lot of strength. And here they are, hard peaks. That's exactly what we need. They keep their shape, they're really strong, have a lot of strength. That's what I like about Swiss meringue. It's really stable. Right now I am going to transfer it to a bowl. And it's really important to weigh them, because we will need it later to separate it into two parts. When you work with the meringue, please make sure you're using a silicone spatula. That's really important in order not to destroy their structure. So I'm going to weigh the meringue. It's 267 grams. Now I'm going to use the same bowl for melting the chocolate and the butter. I put white chocolate here. I add butter, around 20 grams of butter. Then I put it on the double boiler. You can also melt it in the microwave with impulses, around 10-15 seconds each impulse. Please make sure not to use it a metal bowl, because metal in microwave will explode. It's important that you use a double boiler if you're not using microwave, because if you use just a pan and the heat, you can ruin your chocolate structure. Now I'm going to melt it. So I melted the chocolate and mixed it with butter. Then I add egg yolks. I slightly cool down the chocolate before adding the egg yolks. Thoroughly mix. Next I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of meringue. I deliberately put the scales on, because I need to measure 133 grams. So when I say sacrifice, I mean I'm thoroughly mix it into the chocolate, because its structure will be ruined, but it will help us to incorporate the rest of the meringue. First you mix thoroughly like that, carefully adding the rest of the meringue. 134 grams. Now you should gently incorporate it with these movements. Break them into half. Mix them. Don't stir them thoroughly, otherwise you will ruin the structure. So make these movements, gentle, very gentle, very careful. Until homogeneous. So that's the result. It's very fluffy. Now I'm going to put it in a glass. And the rest I will put in another cup. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the dark chocolate, and I'm using the same bowl, by the way, because it's not gonna make any difference. So I put it on double boiler and I melt it. And I can also add a little bit of my coffee. Here it is. I let it cool down for a minute. Now I'm adding the egg yolks, incorporate them, and in the exact same way I sacrifice a little bit of my meringue. Then I add the rest of the meringue. Gently mix it, trying to keep it fluffy and aerated. And here it is. Now I'm putting part of this in a glass. Here is what we've got. Now I'll put this in the fridge for around 4 hours, preferably overnight, and it will be done. I kept the chocolate mousse in the fridge overnight, and this is the final result. I decorated it with grated white and dark chocolate. It has a really delectable flavor, it has fluffy texture, the Swiss meringue doesn't subside, it holds its shape. So that's it. That's amazing and delicious, and very simple. You can make it at home. I think you will like it. If you liked the video, give it a like. Let me know in comments what you think about this video, and subscribe to my channel to see my new videos. Thank you for watching.